This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Monday, March 4th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel, and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure and check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. Hey, what up, Jeremy?
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
Not much, man. Another day, another dollar. Real quick, couple things I want to quickly touch with before we jump into this video. My apologies for doing this video so late today. I had technical difficulties this morning. I couldn't get our stuff to work. But hey, as long as we got it in for you, that's all that matters. So let's get this money today. One more quick thing. We do have our MLB pre-order special up right now. $150 gets you the whole MLB season, includes our daily cash lines, all of our content, get full access to our optimizer, and to make it even sweeter, if you get the MLB pre-order special right now, you also get the rest of NBA absolutely free. So it's a killer deal, man. It's a steal, I think. But hey, take advantage. Go to the site, use promo code MLB50, get your MLB package, get the rest of NBA free. So, hey, let's jump into this game to kind of just get it going. If you're ready to go, Jay.
Yeah, let's go.
Yep. Real quick, one final thing before we jump into it. If you guys don't mind, please take that quick second. Click the like button down below for me. Help me out. Appreciate that from you guys a lot. And, yeah, man, so let's go. So the first game we're going to go with, it is going to be the Atlanta Hawks going into Miami to face the Heat. This game has a 222.5. I'm sorry. It has a 222 over-under, and Miami's favored by 9.5 in this one.
Yeah, it's like all of Atlanta's hurt, right? So Prince out, Spellman out, John Collins game time decision with the illness, Herter game time decision. Alex Lynn is probable. I have not seen updated news on Dwayne Dedmon. We'll update all of these things when we go for our NBA live segment. I'm sure we'll circle back with Atlanta. We could do that if you want. Just circle back with them on Atlanta on NBA Live once we've cleared out Collins, Herter, Dedmon, and Lynn. I actually like Alex Lynn a ton today. At 3.7, I think it's a really, really good value play, especially with all the guys they have out of the rotation. Bazemore and Trae Young, obviously Trae Young at 9.2 is a steep price tag, but the guy's been absolutely on point. I noted in our NBA Live, I believe it was Friday or Saturday, what he's done. The only rookie to average 45 and 10, or actually go for a game with 45 points and 15 assists. So he's on fire right now, coming off the ejection. I look for him to come out tonight and play well. And you know the minutes are going to be there with a short rotation of guys. So there's obviously some value here as well that's possible. You could take a look at Vince Carter as far as a value spot, DeAndre Bembry. Those guys, obvious value today as well, if, in fact, this rotation is going to be that short. But like I said, we can get back to that on NBA Live once we know for sure who's ruled in, who's out.
Yeah, no, for sure. You there, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so on the Miami side of things, I mean, there's a couple pieces of news that we're waiting on. Hassan Whiteside, game time decision. Dragic, a game time decision. Those are actually some important news that we're waiting for, because if Whiteside is out, you go right back to the Bam. You go right back to the Kelly Olynyk. You go right back to both of those guys. I think you can even play – I talked about it the other day that you could possibly even play them together. I think that if Whiteside is out, either one of those guys, you just put them in. I think you have to pick one of those two. You pick one of those two, throw them in your power forward spot, and then you could kind of go from there. But we got to wait on that Whiteside news. Like I said, if he is out, you got to like Bam and Kelly Olynyk. Same thing with Goran Dragic. If Dragic is out today, the minutes have been, kind of ticking up a little bit for him. So if he's going to be ruled out today, then you got to give Josh Richardson and Justice Winslow both bumps as well. They're the main beneficiaries with Dragic off of the floor. So for me, I mean, it's same thing pretty much as the other day. I mean, maybe not as many injuries, but, I mean, there are a couple key guys that we're still waiting on some news. So that's really where I'm at with the Heat. I mean, you could throw in Dion Waiters as a GPP play. We know the guy's going to get his shots up. He has some upside. So you could consider him also. But I'm really waiting on that Whiteside and that Dragic news.
Yeah.
Cool. Next game we're gonna go with is gonna be the Dallas Mavericks going into Brooklyn to face the Nets. Do you have the over/under on this one?
227.5, and the Nets are favored by 5.
All right, cool. Yeah, go ahead and get us started with the Dallas side of things.
Yeah, man, you start with Doncic, right? At 9.8. The guy I like the best here is Dwight Powell. Today is a unique day on Fanduel where you have, the thing about Fanduel compared to Draftkings is Draftkings, you got, guys with multi position eligibility. As, Fanduel, there is not that. But there's rare days like today where you can look to play a few different centers. You could probably get as many. Wait and see what happens with Whiteside, but you're able to get probably 3 centers in today on FanDuel if Whiteside is ruled out. Dwight Powell, very fair price for him as their starting center. We know that. We target centers against Brooklyn all the time. You roll Bam out there if he's going to roll out, and then you load up your center spot. You got 3 centers, and then Russell over here on the other side you'll talk about, but he's playing the point guard position for them. An opportunity to get 3 centers and 3 point guards on FanDuel is something rare that you don't get to do all the time over there, as compared to DraftKings. But having said that, I can't pay 9.8 today for Doncic. I don't think it's a very steep price tag. You need him to get really 60 fantasy points to reach value. It's a tall task. I do like some of the value spots, though. I think as far as value goes and being fair price, underpriced, or overpriced, Dwight Powell is a very good value at power forward, and I think he could take up one of your power forward spots today. Outside of that, like you said the other day very well, you said 20 games left. Dirk's going to get some minutes here on his farewell tour, and he's played okay. He's not playing terrible. He's not knocking down value by any means, but against Brooklyn, you could see Dirk go out there and get 25 fantasy points today. And if he does that, 25, 26 fantasy points at a 4.3 price tag, we'll take that. We love it. He would definitely be a tournament pivot because of the Olynyk, the Bam, the Dwight Powell, etc. that is available. But in tournaments, I don't mind Dirk. And that's really where I'm at with this. Tim Hardaway's a tournament play. I'm okay if you want to load him up against this Brooklyn team. But other than that, Dwight Powell's the cash play. These other guys are GPP plays.
Yeah, for sure. I really, really like Powell today. I'm with you on that one. On the net side of things, hey, everybody's getting healthy. They got Levert has come back. They got a log jam basically. They got one guy injured and Graham, who doesn't really matter, but you got a lot of guys that are fighting for value for sure. That are fighting for minutes. So for me, on the Brooklyn side of things, I'm really just gonna stick to 2 guys, man. The 2 guys I'm gonna stick with. D'Angelo Russell, like you said, the guy's playing very well, 9,100. He's the leader of the team. He's their superstar. They realize that. They're giving him the minutes. And the other guy is Karis LeVert, 6,300, still a very good price tag. He has upside on this price tag still. The minutes have been pretty consistent for him. So D'Angelo Russell, Karis LeVert, they're going to be my favorite 2 plays on the Nets. I'm probably not really going to look at anybody else. A guy that I occasionally been playing on the season, Joe Harris at under 5,000. The price tag came down a little bit. You could throw him in a couple of GPP, strictly GPP. But outside of that, I'm not really messing with nobody else on the Nets.
Yeah.
Cool. Next game we're going to go with, it is going to be the Denver Nuggets going into San Antonio to face the Spurs. This game has a 230.5 over-under, and San Antonio is favored by 1 in this one.
Jamal Murray has the best DVP matchup in this game or on this Denver Nuggets roster. 11-2 for Jokic, okay within tournaments, as well as Paul Millsap at 7-8. He's played very well. Minutes are up. Price is down a little bit from where it was when it was above 8,000. Trey Lyles out. The biggest beneficiary to me with Lyles out is by far Mason Plumlee. I like Mason Plumlee once again tonight in tournaments, and that's kind of where I'm at. Will Barton's price is up to 6,000, also a very good DVP matchup. But, 6,000 is a lot for Will Barton in my opinion. I think he's a tournament-only play. I wouldn't say Barton is a safe cash play tonight because we have to really wait and see. The Miami game and what happens with Dragic and Whiteside has implications for the remainder of the slate, because if Barton is going to get in play, it would have to be in a situation where Dragic is ruled in and going to play, and that diminishes a little bit of the value that's there price-wise with Winslow and Richardson. So at this point in time, Barton to me is strictly a GPP play. I do like Jamal Murray a lot, though, in this spot. San Antonio is terrible against point guards. They have been terrible against point guards, and Murray's the guy that I like a ton at 6.9.
Yeah, no, he's still priced still down. He's still in a good matchup for sure. So, I mean, we talked about it all year. Denver is one of the best defensive teams in the league. I mean, point blank, it is what it is. So I'm not really too interested in none of these Spurs. A couple guys. I mean, I think you got to look at the main guys. You look at Aldridge, 8.6. You look at DeRozan, 8.8. I definitely think both of those guys are in play. Strictly GPP for me, just because Denver is such a good defensive team. To me, it kind of caught me off guard a little bit that the Spurs are actually favored, because I feel like the Nuggets are really going to get on the Spurs today. I understand that the Spurs are at home, but Denver is just a much better team, in my opinion. So it's Aldridge, it's DeRozan, Rudy Gay, 5,900. We always talk about it. It's all about minutes with him. If he's going to play 30 minutes at a 5,900 price tag, easily could get you fantasy point upside. Those are the three main guys. And then, we got Brian Forbes is a game time decision. If he was happened to be ruled out today, I definitely think a guy like Patty Mills or Rudy Gay, like Patty Mills or Marco Bellinelli would get a bump. Maybe they could kind of split some minutes at that shooting guard position. Plus, Patty Mills may get a couple extra minutes, in the backup point guard. So I like those guys. If Forbes is ruled out, we got to kind of wait on that injury news. But outside of that, I'm not really too interested in anybody else on the Spurs.
Yeah.
Cool. Next game we're going to go with is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks going into Phoenix to face the Suns. This game has a 234 over-under, and Milwaukee's favored by 13 in this one.
So there's no news today on Giannis as far as, maybe he might rest or not. So typically they've done this, right? He's rested probably 4 times this year at any given point in the season with the same, citing the same source, which is knee soreness. And look, he rested the other day with knee soreness, and each time he's rested, he's been fine for about a month or so, and then they sit him down again. So there's no news, is good news in my opinion. The guy's coming off a monster game against Utah, 70 plus fantasy points, 12.2 is the price tag here. I don't like the price tag so much against Phoenix. Nobody has any idea what Phoenix is doing. Are they playing? Are they tanking? There's an interesting article on ESPN about that today. This is a crazy thing that they're doing. They seem to be playing balls out in some situations. So if they play balls out, they're a fun team. Can they keep it close long enough for Giannis to get value? That I don't know. This is not the Utah Jazz. It's not a playoff type environment. So I think Giannis is too much in my opinion. However, I do like the narrative of Eric Bledsoe. Well documented that it took them a while to get him out. And now he's signed a $70 million contract extension with Milwaukee and find a home. So I do like the narrative here with Bledsoe coming off rest. He did sit out Saturday. That's another reason Giannis went for 70. Bledsoe was not there, and Giannis had much higher usage in this spot. I look for Bledsoe. I look for him to kind of really get after the revenge narrative here. I do like him a ton. They're not good against point guards. I think that's a very good play tonight is Eric Bledsoe. Mirotic on the minutes coming up. You can look at that if you want, but for the most part, Milwaukee to me is all tournament play.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think this game could get really out of hand quickly. On the Sun side of things, a couple guys that I think that you could play though. DeAndre Ayton going against Brook Lopez. He's a very he's an athletic dude. I think that Ayton could have a good spot right here against Brook Lopez. I think he's in play. Right now they got Dragon Bender projected in the starting lineup over Josh Jackson. Even though Josh Jackson is coming off the bench, I think he's still a solid GPP play at 5.1 because the Suns have shown they like to play Josh Jackson a lot of minutes. And Bender's going to get the start, though, and he's going to play 20-plus minutes at a minimum price tag of $3,500. You just put him in as your job spot and moved on. Earlier in this year, he got a couple starts, and he really crushed. So, that's some news. If he's going to start, just throw him in, move on. Great job spot play. Tyler Johnson at a 5.1 price tag. He's been playing very, very well since coming to the Suns. I like Tyler Johnson. I think he's a really good mid-tier point guard play. Devin Booker, 8,700, the best player on the team. He has 70 fantasy point upside any night. I like Booker as well. Oubre's the guy, 7,700. His price tag is too expensive for me. I'm not going to be messing with Oubre. Maybe 1 or 2 GPPs if you're playing 150 lines. But he's kind of the odd man out. I like the other 4 guys that are projected to be in that starting lineup, as well as Josh Jackson. If he comes off the bench, he's still going to play 30 minutes either way. And he's going to get, the run against backups instead instead of getting run against starters if he is, in fact, coming off the bench. So that's really where I'm at with the Suns.
I'm just going to say a couple of things. One, I think Phoenix has reached a point where they've secured their spot in the lot. I mean, their odds in the lottery. They're tied with the Knicks for the worst record. But as far as worst records in the NBA go, Cleveland is the next team at 16. I mean, and you know, Phoenix can play competitive basketball right now because they've probably got to win, you know, probably 10 games in order to, you know, to get in that 23 win range before they put themselves like as third or fourth worst record. So I think Phoenix is going to play a little bit. I'm not saying this is a competitive game by any means, but I don't think Phoenix is straight in tanking mode. And I don't think Bledsoe's hurt at all. That's one of the comments I just read. I don't think Bledsoe's hurt. I think he signed a $70 million contract. He balled out against the Lakers, and they gave him the day off on a back-to-back. Easy.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, next game we're going to go with, it is going to be the New Orleans Pelicans going into Utah to face the Jazz. This game has a 230 over-under, and Utah's favored by 10 in this one.
Now, this is a team that absolutely is tanking. Don't get it twisted. I mean, they're doing everything possible at bare minimum to not be fined by the NBA for tanking, including playing Anthony Davis 20 minutes a night. So this team is tanking. Drew Holiday, his minutes seem to be fairly consistent, as well as Julius Randle. Elfrid Payton at 6.5 is probably the best overall bargain play on this Pelicans team. But this is against the Utah Jazz. It's in Utah. It's a tough environment. A team that's tanking. So, you know, there's some spots you can definitely look to. Diallo is probably one of them. His case would be helped a whole lot if Okafor is ruled out. I think Okafor is doubtful at this point. But if he does get ruled out, I think Diallo is another guy you can roll back out. Nice little game the other night. And we know Anthony Davis, he's a game-time decision now. But even if he plays, he's going to play 20 minutes, and he's not going to play in the fourth quarter. So I think Diallo at 4.8 is a nice pivot play off some of the other value that's a power forward tonight in tournaments. And that's really where I'm going to keep it with New Orleans, man. I just can't – their prices are too expensive. There's too many unknowns. You know, they're tanking.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm not trying to be, you know, the boring or the bearer of bad news, but I honestly just want to skip the Jazz. I mean, I think this game is going to get out of hand. Not only that, they're all priced up. There's nobody that's like a good price. You know, you got Gobert over 10,000. You got Mitchell over 9,000. Ingles, Rubio, Rubio's is over 7. Favors is over 7. Ingles is almost at 7. I mean, I don't really like nobody on this Jazz team. I mean, if you can help me out, I would appreciate that, because for me, the Jazz are pretty much just a full fade.
Yeah, I think you can get into Rudy Gobert in tournaments at 10-3. It's a fair. I think it's a fair price, and I think it's a different way to build contrarianly with Rudy Gobert. I think it's a guy that'll be low owned tonight, maybe 5 to 7% owned, if that. I also think Jay Crowder at 5.3, and then another guy, Kyle Korver at 4.1, playing about 18 minutes. Look, if the game gets out of hand, they're going to roll certain guys out there. There's no Exum, we know that, and I believe Neto is still out. He is. So, you know, two guards that are out. Kyle Korver is a guy that you could look to in tournaments. And another guy you could look to in tournaments as well, if you're just looking for a drop spot value play, is Thabo Sefolosha. It's a guy we've played over the years. We know when he gets minutes, he does get he fills up the stat sheet pretty much in every category. He can knock down some threes, get some rebounds, block a shot, a steal or two. So if the game is going to blow out, they are short guards. You could see a couple of these guys as good tournament plays. You know, Thabo Sefolosha, drop spot. Other than that, man, I mean, if you want to roll anybody out there that's a starter, there's two guys that I actually think you could look at, and that's Ricky Rubio and Derek Favors. Nobody's going to pay $7,000 for Favors. Understand it's a tournament play, and you know, I don't think anybody's going to pay 7.2 for Rubio in this spot either. But it's a good matchup. Yeah,
for sure. So I mean, just real quick, we'll talk about Gobert. The thing about Gobert is 10.3. We're going to need about 51, 52 for him to hit value, and I mean, he's got us 50. One time in the past, I think 12 games, if I counted it right. So, I mean, I just don't. And then you throw in the fact that it possibly could be a blowout. That's what's scaring me. I mean, the matchup is fine for Gobert. I'm just scared. I mean, I'm just looking at the recent production, and the guy just hasn't been there. I mean, it is what it is. And now we're getting kind of down the home stretch. And these playoff teams, if they get up on teams, they're not going to play their guys. They're going to rest their guys because they want to save them for the playoffs. So that's just kind of, for me with Gobert, he's just overpriced. I mean, and that's just my opinion.
And that's exactly why, if you understand what you're doing when you play him, and I'm saying that is You're playing a contrarian play that you're hoping you get 60 out of Gobert in a spot where he goes nuts. He had 51.8 the only time they played this season.
Right.
And it's a spot where you're saying to yourself, I'm playing Gobert. I'm building my lineup different. I have a low-owned guy that if he gets me 60, it's 60 that nobody else got. That's the only reason to play it.
Right. Yeah, no, I get you 150% for sure. I'm just telling you my reasoning why I wasn't really feeling Gobert too much. So moving on, next game we're going to go with is going to be the New York Knicks going into Sacramento to face the Kings. This game has a 230.5 over-under, and Sacramento's favored by 11 in this one.
I do like the Knicks here, man. I do, and I know they're tanking as well, and they're tied with Phoenix for the worst record in basketball. And I like Dennis Smith Jr., man. I think 7,000, you compare him to what we just talked about, Ricky Rubio. Who would you rather have, Dennis Smith Jr. in this game where you know a ton of points are going to be scored? You know the Kings are a fun basketball team. And the Knicks are playing their young guys. Mainly they're playing Dennis Smith, Kevin Knox, Damian Dotson, and Mitchell Robinson. Those are the guys that are getting a lot of run. Emmanuel Mudiay, you could throw him in the mix as well, getting 25-plus minutes, right? So those are the guys that they're playing. They're young guys. They're evaluating their roster. And that's what they're doing. So I like Dennis Smith in this spot. I think it'll be a low-owned play later, gives you a late-night hammer. Kevin Knox, we've talked about it at length over and over and over again. He's just not scoring enough points. And I think that what we're really finding out with Knox is he's not a developed shooter yet. He just doesn't have a great jump shot. But, you know, with any NBA player, they can get hot any given night. I'm not saying to load him up. If I'm going to load anybody up here, it's 4 guys. I'll load up Dennis Smith Jr., I'll load up Dotson, maybe Noah Vonleh, but probably not. Mudiay and Trier. I do like Trier quite a bit here as well. Just a pure shooter in a game that should have a lot of points and be pretty fun.
Yeah, no, I get you for sure. I mean, on the Sacramento side of things, I mean, playing simple, keep it easy. I love all 5 starters going against the Knicks. Go right back to the well on Willie Cauley-Stein. The price tag barely moved. I think that, you know, Cauley-Stein, Harrison Barnes, even Bogdanovich, I think that those guys you could all consider in cash games. I think that Fox and Buddy Hield, just because they're priced up a little bit, are a little bit more GPP plays, but you can also consider them in cash games as well. I really, really like all 5 starters here for the Kings. And then when you go on the bench, a guy like Harry Giles is getting some run, but his prices came up. You know, and then they got the, you know, Corey Brewer, Burks. They have a couple guys that are splitting minutes off the bench. For me with the Kings, I like all 5 starters, but that's really where I'm at.
If Whiteside plays today, then you can look to Harry Giles as a cash play.
If Whiteside plays?
Yes, because that would diminish Bam 100%. Right. And James Johnson is playing, so that would diminish. They'd be back to a full rotation, and it would diminish both Olynyk a little bit and Bam because they'd have those 4 guys that have been rotating all year long. So Harry Giles, who's gotten you at least 25 in both of the games without Marvin Bagley, at 4.9, you know, he can get you the 5X you need, especially against the Knicks, where if it does blow out, he will get extra run in the fourth quarter. Like him a lot. I think he's safe in cash if Whiteside plays.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where I was at. All 5 starters. The only guy I consider off the bench is Giles and kind of move on. Next game we're going to go with, it is going to be the final game of the night. It's going to be the Clippers going against the Lakers. You know, both home teams should be a pretty good game. Both teams battling for playoff spots. Clippers probably have a little bit better chance than the Lakers do. So this game probably means a little bit more to them. But yeah, man. So I mean, we got 235 over under. The Lakers are favored by 3.5 in this one.
I don't get the spread in this game. I've heard everything today from the Lakers are tanking. I've seen Snoop's Twitter feed where he put his luxury box tickets up for sale for $5 and called these dudes some sorry motherfuckers. Said you need to get all of them out of there. You know, get LeBron some help. This is drama. Everybody thinks Luke Walton is gone. Everybody now thinks the Lakers are tanking because they got a better chance of getting a higher draft pick than they do making the playoffs. But this is a legit Clippers team that is legit going to probably make the playoffs. And if they do, I think Doc Rivers deserves Coach of the Year consideration. When they started trading players away on this roster earlier at the trade deadline, everybody's kind of thinking, what the hell are they doing? But they have managed to keep this team, even through injury, together and competitive. This is one of Doc Rivers' finest coaching jobs. You got to look at Zubac at 4.9 with the narrative. The Lakers are starting Kyle Kuzma at center. And as much as I like Kuz, he struggles to defend guys who really are centers. It's just a mismatched body from a height standpoint. I like Zubac. The minutes are always what it's going to be about with Zubac. He's kind of, you could put him in the same kind of spot as a Bogdanovic or Enes Kanter that we talk about all the time. The point per minute is always there with him. It's just a matter about getting enough minutes. I do like Beverly. This is a pride game for sure. These guys, they share a building. Beverly always shows up in games like this. A very good defensive point guard. Fills up the stat sheet in all different categories. I like him a lot. Outside of that, Lou Williams is the only other guy besides Montrezl Harrell that I'm really looking at. I know that Landry Shamet will get traction today. I know Galigius Alexander will get traction today. I'm okay if you want to throw him in a couple tournament lineups, but to me, look at Beverly, look at Zubac, look at Lou Williams, look at Montrezl Harrell, and then kind of move on.
Yeah, no, for sure. And one thing I just quickly wanted to note, this isn't directed to you, but just in general, just like my friends, people I've talked to about the Lakers this whole entire year, I constantly, over and over, told people Brandon Ingram is the second best player on the Lakers after LeBron James. And he's showing it. I mean, the guy has upside. This is a guy that next year, even if they do a bunch of changes and trade some guys, I really like Brandon Ingram a lot. He's my second favorite player. On the Lakers.
I actually said, I don't know if you remember this, but earlier on in the year when we were doing this video, right at the trade deadline, I was saying that Brandon Ingram's skill set is the same as Kevin Durant's. It is. He's just much younger than Kevin Durant. He's got the same skill set.
He just has to get some meat on his bone. That's it. Yeah, no, I really like Brandon Ingram. So 8,000 price tag, the price tag is up. But hey, the guy's balling out. He deserves a price tag. Rondo, too cheap, 6.1. LeBron is almost averaging. He's almost posting a triple-double every single night. Kyle Kuzma, 7,000, playing a ton of minutes. I love all four of these starters. Reggie Bullock is a guy I'm not really interested in. A Reggie Bullock, 4.5. I mean, he's sharing some minutes with Josh Hart, with the Caldwell Popes, etc. It's really on the Lakers, man. I think all of them are in play. Kuzma, Ingram, LeBron, and I think that you just have to lock in Rondo. Rondo is too cheap, even though he's coming off a dud. Look what he did the two previous games before. 6.1, very good price tag for Rondo. That's really where I'm at with the Lakers, man. I'm just sticking with those 4-2 guys. JaVale McGee, I mean, if Tyson Chandler, right now he's a game-time decision. If Tyson Chandler is ruled out and McGee's the only really big center that they have, I definitely think that he can get, 25 minutes like he got last game against Phoenix. So that's some news to kind of watch for. But outside of that, it's just Kuzma, Rondo, James, Ingram. They're the best four players they got right now.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. If you look at McGee, I mean, look at where his minutes are with Tyson Chandler gets ruled out and he gets almost, a 15-point bump or 15-minute bump over the previous couple games. I think it's a stretch for McGee, especially with Alex Lynn on the board, even if Chandler's out. But you could definitely look at it in tournaments.
Yeah, I think Alex Lynn, I mean, just real quick, Alex Lynn and Rajon Rondo, I think, are almost locks today in cash games. I think there's going to be high owned. They're very good prices, and it is what it is. So, hey, that's all that we got for you guys. 7 games wrapped up in a nutshell. Hey, man, if you haven't already, check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Go get our MLB pre-order special. Use promo code MLB50. Get the rest of NBA included by getting that package. Hey, join the money team today, man. Stop missing out. I will be back with my NBA court video, and we will be back with our NBA live segment an hour before lock. So make sure I have those notifications turned on so you don't miss any videos that we come out with. Outside of that, thank you guys very much for checking out this video, and good luck on your guys' contest tonight, all right? Peace out.